I saw these file folders on Amazon, and I thought they looked so much fun. They already have like 3 pockets built into them, and I liked that they were only like around $10 because I only bought 24. I don't really like when they make you buy 100 of something, and I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. And I want to use my Gracious Green kit, so I've got it all printed, and I thought I would show you. This is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna show you how I did this. So here's the way the folder comes. And the width is like 8.5, which means one whole paper, but then I think it's just kind of too wide. So here's the way it looks like this, right? And then these parts are this, and it's got one little flap in it that's glued down. So what I decided to do was I want this whole side with all the pocket flaps to be there. And what I did was I made the cover 6.5. How did I do that? Well, there's the original fold, okay? So I kind of refolded it, moved it over here, and now that I'm looking at it, I didn't even cut it straight, right? It's not real straight. Okay, let's see, I gotta fix this. Every time I try to fix it. Anyway, because it's real thick inside, that's why. Look, the minute I fold it, it doesn't want to stay folded, does it? No. Anyway, I think this will work. We're gonna see. What I did was once I moved it over, then I pulled that apart and then I re-glued it and I taped it, hoping that that will strengthen this because it naturally wants to fold and I don't want it to fold. So now, and then I cut the top of it off. So it's 6.5 and I left it right at 11. But doesn't that look like it's gonna be fun? So we will see what that's going to look like, and we'll see if my idea works. Well, I have had fun. I used my Gracious Green papers, as I said, to cover this really fun journal. Look how cool this came out. So my Gracious Green papers come in vertical and horizontal. So for this one, I ended up using, obviously, the vertical pages. And look, this just ended up being really, really fun. I am going to have so much fun using these new type of manila folders that already come like with fun stuff. So what I thought I would do next is I want to add a little journal inside. Okay, won't that look cute? I think so. And so what I've done is I've picked out 4 pages in the horizontal perspective from the kit. And then I've paired them. This one I paired with another page from the kit. This one I paired with, this is from my ledger and music paper, not ephemera, background pages kit. If you don't have it, it's a great kit because there is so much stuff in there that you can use over and over and over again. They're just kind of neutrals, right? So then that one is paired with another piece. You know, there's a really fun old invoice from the North and South Railroad. And then that one, and then that's actually a ledger page. So that's my 4 pages. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to staple them. I don't want to sew. I bought that long arm stapler for a reason. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you. Now, there's only 4 pages, so I don't think you would want to use a stapler. You know, if you're going to have 10 or 15, I don't think the staples are going to go through. You have to have a special size staple to do that. But this one should work, and let's see if it does. So I'm going to use my giant paper clips, which these are in my Amazon store. They're so good for holding everything together. And then let me get my stapler out. So as I said, I got a long arm stapler. I got this off of Amazon too. So let's see. So you can tell how far in you can go. So let's make sure that I'm in the right spot. I'm going to be right in the crease. Oh, look, it won't go over that. That's where your problem is going to be, Diane. Okay, so let's see if I'm in the right spot. Well, looks like it went in before we do any more. Yes, it went all the way in. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll come over. Let's see, I'll move this one now. I'm going to do just like 3 staples. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, and one more. Approximately where I did it on the top. Well, let's make sure it worked. And it worked. Look, it's perfect. Because I didn't give myself any kind of a spine. I just was bending. You know, I'm just playing around with this for the first time. So, yeah, that worked. Look, see? That worked out perfect. That worked out really, really good. Okay, next, what are we going to fill this journal with? Well, of course, you know me. I'm the faith artist. So, of course, we're going to put faith stuff in here. So, now, I wanted to show you that there is a Gracious Green Ephemera kit. And if you did not get that, I'm going to tell you, I would highly encourage you to do it. Why? Not because I want to sell you something, because I want to show you. Hold on, I can't remember how many pieces I put in the kit. So that's why I was trying to find the paper to show you. So I found it. Okay, I put 176 pieces in here. You get ATC cards, tags, envelopes, postcards, tickets, library cards, journal cards. And one of the things that I do is I go ahead and I do a video and show you everything in the kits, which there is a video for the Gracious Green, and you can go see that. And then I cut everything out. That's what I like to do. Even if these weren't my kits, that's what I would do with anybody's kit, because I do use other designers' kits. I cut everything out, and then I got these really fun little boxes. To see how cute these are? I found them at Five Below. They're 5.5 by like 7, almost 8. Yeah, like 7.5. And I think, to be honest, the first set that I got off of Temu, before Temu and all this stuff happened, and then I couldn't find them. And then I was in Five Below, and I could not believe they had a pack of, I think, 4 for $5. Oh yes, they're so wonderful. And then you see what I do is I print what's in the box, right? And then I just tape it on here. Now I'm gonna have to take a picture. I'll include it in here of the lineup, all of my ephemera, even from like when I buy from the Junk Journal Studio, I keep in these boxes because it's always there. And so now it's ready to go. So you see all the fun stuff. So in this ephemera kit, I included this flowers as a separate piece. So when you cut those out, if you cut them out off of cardstock, you know, you can just add them. But then I personally printed these on my clear matte sticker paper. So now I can add these as stickers. So just all the flowers alone are like phenomenal. And I gave them to you in different sizes, okay? So we've got all that. Look at all the fun things. And then, of course, I added some steampunk girls. Yes. And lots of tags and tickets. So we're going to use that stuff. But I'm going to then figure out how I'm going to add my faith. So I will be right back. Well, this was quite fun to put together. You know, this is a video about using any kind of a digital kit or scrapbook paper. Doesn't really matter, right? I showed you how to make this really fun and new file folder type. Okay. And then the rest of the video, what you're going to see inside of this journal is, this was not about a Bible study, but this was about showing you how easy it is to add faith to any journal. That's what I'm going to show you next. Now, what I used primarily in this kit was the Gracious Green Ephemera kit that has 176 pieces in it. The other one that I used is called Living Faith Ephemera Kit. There's 21 pages in there. This is an excellent kit, and here's why. If you want to get this and then you cut everything out and get it all ready, what you're going to find is I have pages and pages of word art, okay? And I print all that. Now, this I printed a while ago, so I printed this on vellum, okay? My new printer doesn't print on vellum, so I'll be printing on clear sticker paper. But you see this huge stack? And wait till you see how much I used in there. There's just so many pages in there of like I said, word art, great is thy faithfulness. Then there's whole bunches of verses that I've put in there. I've chosen the way of faithfulness. So when you just want to add some faith, maybe you're making this for somebody else and you're making it as a gift. Here's a great opportunity. Now, I have other ephemera kits, okay? I just happen to pick this one because in this kit, I have more verses that I can use on certain ephemera that matches. So I added, you're going to see, I added the ephemera, the verses from the Living Faith ephemera over on my Gracious Green ephemera. Now, don't you just love my closure? Now, do you know what this is, in case you don't know? These are headbands. And I get these at Dollar Tree, and then I just found that over in the in Walmart, where your fabric, and then they have this whole little section with ribbons and stuff like that. They actually have these there. So they're using them for crafting, which is what I use them for. But always check your Dollar Tree first. But they only have pink and then like this gray color. They don't have a lot of colors. So I was excited to find these the other day in Walmart, and there was 2 black and 1 white, maybe for $3.50, okay? And then obviously I just used my glue gun and put all these gorgeous green, you know, fake silk flowers, you know, together. And so that's my closure. So isn't that pretty? Okay, let's set that aside. And here is how the journal looks. And as you saw, we added a whole section of, you know, a signature so that you could do journaling. And this is from the Living Faith kit. This is a really fun folding piece. And it's on 1 page, which you fold that together, and then there's 2 Bible verses, right? And so I just have them on cards, and then you can just stick those in there. And of course, the green print on them, yes, totally coordinates. Didn't do anything on the cover because I didn't want to, everything I laid on here covered up the beauty, and I didn't want to do that. Now, this is another piece. This one is actually from the Gracious Green Ephemera kit. Now, it just comes like this. Don't look at the verses. So here's what I'm getting at is I used the Gracious Green Ephemera and I added Bible verses to them and just put them, you know, right in here. It's the same kind of little piece as this, okay? And then I took some of the papers and I just went through and added tuck spots. This is one of the Bible verses from the Living Faith, Fight the Good Fight, 1 Timothy 6:12. Then I just added these pieces are from the Gracious Green. Made a belly band. This piece is in the Gracious Green kit. And then I took one of the Gracious Green ephemera and added a verse, Mark 11:24. And then I tucked in this really fun thing. I get this pad at Dollar Tree. And I don't know what they call it. I think it's for school. So you might be looking for it in the next month or so when the school supplies come back out. And I love it because it's horizontal, number 1. And number 2, look, here's your cue, which I would write the Bible verse. Here's your notes about a Bible verse. You can date it and say what you're doing. So I'm pretending in this that I was giving this to somebody as a, you know, a journaling kit. This is from the Gracious Green ephemera. This is just paper from the Gracious Green kits. Here's another Bible verse from Living Faith, another piece of that paper that I put in there for somebody. Here's another verse. This is a piece of paper from Gracious Green, and then I added the ephemera and tucked in another tag. This is C.S. Lewis quote, "Faith, in the sense in which I am here using the word, is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted in spite of your changing moods." That's from C.S. Lewis, and that's in my Living Faith kit. And then this is a piece from the Gracious Green ephemera, and I have it on cardstock, and then I just tucked in, again, 2 little Bible verses and then some fun ephemera on there in the middle, and we did staple it, and it worked out great. Made this pocket. This is a piece of just some white cardstock that I had run through my embossing machine. And then I added, just some pieces. And I took this piece from the gracious green and then added a verse. I added Matthew 21:22. Whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. And then just stuck a little thing in there. Then this was a piece that I had cut something out of, and it was weird what was left. So I just made it work and stuck in 2 little spots that you could journal. Then this is where I was talking to you about getting these fun, this is one of my old ones, Christian word searches. So this was Zephaniah. So I tucked it in there because what a cute thing to give to somebody, right, in a faith journal, because they can sit there and do that. Tucked in a little tag with a verse on it, added another verse from the Living Faith Kit onto a piece from the Gracious Green. This is Gracious Green. Added one of the verses, Hebrews 11:16. Here's my fun girls. And then here's another one. I got this word search from Amazon. It's nice, but I paid like $6 or $7 for it. Now that I know you can go to Dollar General and get one for like $1.50. Go over there first. So there's another pocket. So we're adding more faith. Didn't put anything on the back. And then we've got the 3 places here. So I added another verse, another one of the fun steampunk girls. Piece of a green ephemera. I made a verse from the green ephemera kit and added a verse, Romans 1:17. For in the righteousness of God is revealed from faith, for faith as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. And then in the very top part, this is another really fun little booklet, and they have these now at Dollar Tree. They had them last spring, and then I didn't see them for a while, and they're back again. This is actually by a company called Crown Jewels, and it's a woman-owned business out of Ohio. And isn't that so fun that she provides these to Dollar Tree, and these are only $1.25. The reason why I love them is it's actually a fairly decent weight of paper, and you can tear it apart, and there's a Bible verse at the top and at the bottom of every page. The other thing is tear the whole thing apart and then put coffee dye on them, right? Put some, coffee dye the sheets, and then you get some really fun sheets. So I just pulled a couple pages out of there and I stuck it in here. And then I added another one of the Christian word search game papers, right? And then I added, this is from the Living Faith Kit. That's from the Gracious Green, the flowers that are on the front. That's a tag from the Gracious Green. And there is a beautiful faith journal that you can give to someone. You can use it yourself if you want to. I'm not saying you can't. But it's full of faith. And look how, to be honest, once I did the covers and covered that and made the little thing, the little signature inside, I didn't even spend an hour adding faith to this. So it's a fairly quick project. And that's because of all the Christian ephemera kits that I have. This is the Living Faith. There's the Colossal. There's the Ultimate. So go on my channel and just look and see. And I am working on launching 2 new Christian ephemera kits that you're going to see soon in my shop that you're really going to love. I'm so excited about that. So please like this video. Please share this video. I hope that you're subscribed to my channel, because if you are interested in junk journaling and then adding faith to your junk journals, then my channel, I am the place to come to, because I will inspire you all the time in all my videos.